Right, every we be aquaba at the sports arena. So Monday, Monday, the 10th day of March 2025. To say yes. Next week na say half. Now to say yes, a year no papa. Na ekwe was a pesca. I was a pesca. I'm a penny for a jumamu maybe near biaye. To my bet. Kofa by. Or the abase ja or the kakra to a chira now so afa kakra. Na se bibia atumi akoye yen ni brenti near 15 teams 20 teams na ba ko de akwo ho ba se unya anibrefo na 2 teams 3 teams dia obi diska papa be diska e my bet and the doctor be e Twitter one teams order of 3 no 1,000 order of 3,000 we dikufu na jese o pese o kire se as a doctor adwuma no kra no nya obejai esan se just 3 hours pe utifie 3 hours na bo no waji usika my bet no send you message congratulations you've won any dia I say doctor adwuma no kra obejai eti also kan ho na ye bomodin an se yesu e be den ye be din kakra se even ye do 4,000 to so a yesu be die ho ne de na bibia atumi akoye na obedi bet ne dia MYBET.AFRICA MYBET.AFRICA na me body road amount join here online MYBET online radio saso and I will call a YouTuber MYBET.AFRICA TV MYBET.AFRICA TV or YouTube now borum our TikTok so a sports.arena.news 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 ewo TikTok when your videos ni nyina dey egu na bibia enso atumi akoye ko DJ Kwaku Slim ewo Facebook DJ Kwaku Slim DJ ni bom na wa atintem kakra Kwaku now the Slim SILM na dia soso na o join o Facebook o join abomode na share na ema wonua so enhu de ekone de eba ye bewura mu editorial ye wia weekend way for the first time Bayern Munich Bayer Leverkusen and abobo kwa ye friend no Stuttgart and Dortmund Pierre Lusui nyese bia draw bi po na Pierre Lusui from if the can go share first goal Bayern crowd mo share 2 but table money so omo ni bokum na boy ana Bayer Leverkusen so or benchy players to benchy players no say say Bayern Munich ya tete no na for the players na banya Nyankopon so bet for nyina mpai bo Nyankopon tie no ma ni key player ankasa na ode na tena bench no ode na ba say komo metin hye na komo close the gap between omone Bayern Munich we hu nyansa say e was ode ni best team face Werder Bremen omo bohom nyansa sa na ma Alonso trim enti ote say epiti na mehwa game no e be touch screen ni so say I can't bet 20 minutes na Bayern under firm 3-2 and was fit or started so then the key players in abam because also of bench almost all the key players in Inter even Crown Boniface and to me ambam because na was a key players no obi abam etima ba kokra yen de ama eye Boniface etna bench or the eye abrate friend rate de ne ba mu no be pry ena chese otimi say yes almost aso lose you can come to me as ante enti na de nyame asepa se sa de na ye dey happen say ni key player pra enti obefrimu Champions League no weekend midweek obefrimu ofrimu wie so Bayern Munich bet league no obekọ trophyless Alonso esan say oro ne ye na adwe so no bench because Leverkusen olusu ye na ma because Dortmund match no obi am say Dortmund ni form timi say Dortmund match ma nko ho Leverkusen na me call say Leverkusen will win Leverkusen 7 bet at the mame we afi wote se ba lusu wo de wo key players ba ana key one so wo mu no de onim bo no e pra e hye nyame anum nyam nti na asenyuma yeso yeto no ka player de ko prank enye obi ade but dia omode ye ekwan omode e first weekend we no ha dwen pa nti dia wo no nti ye be wrem wo honum they say Bundesliga no the way e ko no de as a Bayern fa and afi Dortmund so amhwe am qualify for the Champions League European competition na eno na sustain omo no because omo kono mo ko mani ma omo sika omo nya bebrebe ni nyina na ye ho Champions League no next season it appears omo miss out honum. Now Atletico Madrid after difficult afternoon omo di kan share goal 80th just a 80th minute crap and one son Alexander Solot share from the spot o share na nji Korea akola ketwa ye de wababo mu ana okọ tackle enye papa ana man red card na just ayi forget if for 1 minute bet t-shirt asaka team no enti omo no so no league no muntu menye asaka no tobe league no muntu menye Barca ene Osasuna game no amaso Shanu Sisal Real Madrid eche Vallecano ball 2-1 na goala Vinicius ene Abrante FN Neymar Mbappe share no na timi say akono papa Chelsea eye izi woni eye Leicester anya sam ketwa kuku rela hala Australia po short fietri fia na show 1-0 and Chelsea enya the needed victory after a year bobo ko e friend Manchester City call Nottingham Forest home ekoji nani so no Chelsea ale frog a year bobo ko a friend a year Man City me no ka say Romeo Lavia ene papa a year friend Fofana aba enti utimu say yes akase Nico enso beba striker bode striker on she goals oni wa na obi afe no aka ono so be de be return na afi Chelsea oni yi no ni Madueke so me ba na afi Chelsea the last round of fixtures ni more team papa e more team brutal Chelsea be ko Fulham home Chelsea any Brentford ebebo Chelsea any bobo ko efe no Nottingham Forest bobo or Liverpool bebo or Arsenal bebo enye easy enye fe dia ground is Chelsea per se qualify for the Champions League ultimate say made the hono no and na nka o say Chelsea the amass point no so twifa no boma or Crystal Palace money Fulham money sa teams nkete no e switch mo or drop a point against those teams say do business aspect of the season into your behwe say players na return no enyama beso ebekosan ehonum eno any games eno so call so na nra Amori utimi say no ade the team no popo ankasa yesterday na they deserve to win no mo so players no bia san papa akonom ko fa ne fi ye no mo so be challenge Haaland no e fe no hola was some brutal anya easy 1-1 it ultimately say no Arsenal for fight for title but and then tia e ba no say or fighting for top 4 ezan say top 4 teams na e wo even bomb of mo kra no maybe o more than one hwe o meba be you top 4 them there is Arsenal officially they are out of the title race and they are now fighting for top 4 into the home no e ho no nti the award Liverpool so after small bone they can share first go in the first half in the second half Liverpool betete kano about 3-1 wo no ma nyama so ko ye it is Liverpool they are gone with the title wo no ma eno se ene de ko ene de ba okọ Italia Atlanta enkofo we tifie oni Venezia Atlanta nhye na nipa ndi bet Atlanta hwe na mieni ball 0-0 wakochi Juventus and 9 poly and 9 ana ode ma Juventus wo no ma chese nye fedi agro e brab eye Monza e she 2 goals no bobo kwa ye friend Inter e beti she 3-2 e ho no abra Lecce so she 2 goals no Milan AC enso beti she 3-2 kameze nro na kombe pamo ye consist ha wo no wo hwe se na na Zlatan Ibrahimovic ni bufu afu no de distance no na so otimu say yes Pulisic omo ye magic no ma e be ye 3-2 wo no mti say man na by time e wo eye eye Italy honom Roma nkofo ne form na no ten toto nkofo ne form na no ten ha eno so ene de ekọ Napoli enso chi eye Fiorentina honom eno so no na results no na akono papa eti eno ene de ekọ ne de eba na mekoti a eye ketokreku FIFA sika ode ama yense yemfanya academy no ketokreku de akọ eye boga ena chese osi ye fra we Congo e wo northern region na almost eho ye hope for talent development any ade na wo hwe ho na ebuzuafo onya akono ketokreku de ono ni di atoso sa ye frɛ no Ket US Okreku Technical Center we Congo ono ede ni din atoso na onko kasa mienti a ose GFA no aye one of the best run institutions in Ghana asema aye ketokreku the GFA president nsema o kan no na me fane say aye insulting disrespectful because the kind of leadership a man we dey man no he has no moral right and who like say show we koya na enkoya e was say tiefo no mo hwe na e was o mo ye de o mo judge wo lead institution wo mom na wo ka say wo mu institution here the best institution in Ghana corrupt institution like that criminal institution like that a criminal cartel like that mutu mi a budget na budget no mudi ashemu say enipa 54 it deserve $100,000 each American junior national team coaches are not being paid. We are normal now because say you are best run institution. Like you what you want to say. Look at the type of coaches I offer the money. Look at our national teams. The league now your professional your bona fide property no. League no you wo bi se kan you kunkrofo. League ni nya kona bon kan league ni bon league ni nyan. League ni moja. So how is it a run institution? How can say GFA one of the best run institutions in Ghana? How come? How? Parameters na dey man no one bibia na. It appears as say no, unim red, then phone so numbi. And na ebia na dibi da fam no wafa edi. Because and some na ketokreku akokeka ho no no. Eye insulting, eye temdidi odidi matam. Odidi wa wutiem no odidi watam. Omo anu omotiti oni nyina odidi obi atam. Because ubo homode a enye wo na wo se wo ka. Se enkyene ye da, enkyene on kanfo ne ho. Sugar nkanfo ne ho. Onyansani bian wo wiase mu a ono abekanfo ne ho. Onunu ne ho na osre. Onyansani bi obian wo nyansa. Nyakopa dum no nyansa. Obenunu ne ho na osre. Anase obetwa ne tekrema. Na wastimi no ache no wawe. Ose wawe nam. Onyansani bian wo. So you cannot set your own questions and mark yourself and give yourself distinction. A madness. A your bodani na yes ade no obodan fo bi a wabodam ene o honum no atro bibi no osre bodani ti o no ye we no nunu ho no osre. The behavior of the GFA boss no equivalent to a mad person, because a mad person no ti o no nunu ho no osre. If your institution is best, let people see it. Where is the resource? League now about sponsorship saying the womb. League no and one colonel saying you are mandated to take decisions for the Blasters, for our junior national teams. Oba you under 70. The last time you qualified the call World Cup. Nothing na ajuju yawo ajuju. It's a Juju bicycle. The go up and down. Last time a Blasters light Echo walk up to India. Echo walk up to India. Now me ba Juju. Me and one and wabenyi ema otwi bicycle. That was the last time. Oba ya qualifies 3 times. Yabo mienu e Ghana ha yankasi ya hosti say na be ya we will get home advantage, yet the nya yentumi an qualify. Say ya increase slot no, yet we couldn't qualify. Under 20 since 2015 and under 20 call World Cup. 2015 and under 20 call World Cup. Last time under 20 call World Cup na da ben. How many coaches and Wasaki or Mafia under 20? How many coaches? Yeah, under 23. Kugui and when you say no crowd na air time. Na air time. Blasters have people there back to back AFCONs. Say crowd here to me and qualify. So and league, there is nothing to write home about. With national teams now, there is nothing to write home about. So, DM pan or Jiran so cast answer no. Nemko force to bo mun sem pra because ye Jimmy sa openi Jimmy ni wa ye to me kan chere say masa wo Jimmy ho. Obienu o ye bold to me kan say what is this man talking about? Ada ye huru enim kosoro na. If your league is good, nobody obienu people will say it. The numbers will show. Bibia be show. Onye serious. GFA boss onye serious. Say we tough ni bi no mo de man ta free no be ka san semu na. Onko no samra biem. Because I see what the kind you say bullshit. I to didie no de Ghana for no. It is a me you so west be the man monti ase. You don't behave as a leader, you don't behave like that. Say one kasa ujina ho ena wa wudu no ho na wo sere we papa abuja for mama kwaba
Mr. Ejoso
yes the institutions of Ghana nyina institutions to so pa Katokreku said they no leading the best round.
Yes, I think asemna kids kind here and to assume because wabobo nyama bebre so Ghana we football association at the back down to the FA in nyama akoso e okromwe within the past few years no ade ba kwa Ghana nimbia ne ni di boy chi ana ne ni di sports chi no ne ni nje ho ade intini say yen football yen sports in general ankasa bebia akwa akodu no ne revival na say bia yesa AC and that mu biom no ebe den inti so aba be DF na no for the past years ni now hwese ne anyama akọ AFCON yako 2 AFCONs yen performance very poor. I think Ghana standard or AFCON the na semi-finals ne bia team bia hye ne na ebe ko final ne akwa kolusu but akọ AFCON na group stages yetimi efiri mu the AFCON eba be bo Morocco na Ghana as obi so obi African countries bobo we ni ma obebo Ghana din aka ho Base Ghana AFCON ne bebo na Mozambique ni other countries whom na Ghana enim na ne obegina obekache en say muna moye the best institution especially across the country na it say one person odi nukure ema Ghana for undi nukure ma ho e na undi nukure nso ma omo a oni omo ye adwuma no because yen league aye boy kure hu sensem enu nti no league ni ntimi nya sponsors imbem because obi eni ho person odi ni sika be sha adiem say bia say Aqua Blue for and MYBET for the person best sponsor league na say league e koso ni a break for almost a month na hwe say bia ni product or turn the product e wo league centers within that particular month no ono as a company no di ni sika be share league no onya mfa so obi en free mu inti yen nyam yen tutu yen nyama yi say bia no person o ka say eno na e the west dia na bia na no kofum koka say the best dia meaning because ni FA 10 under this years now wabe me hu bibia positive Ghana etimienya from Lego Black Stars o under 20s women teams ni bibia enkoyi bibia e basa so I think enye se wa se even imponyama akoyi a enye umpo na we blow world trumpet e Ghana for na na because oh Kate be so in football ni mu no enyama etimi a den ejina ye Black Stars ikonenim World Cup you do AFCON you do ha competitions ba akumienu bia we under 20s ni under 17s in ban in Bema ne bono mo yade nti enu ntini e bona baso enu ntini kra ye bompa say maybe obetimi atinim for another term and for bibi but so obegina obeka asem I say opese Ghana for nim no kren ba opese o sound in futuro esengu omeni anya ade ba ko ye I think this conversation say ade ba ko ye or the bar ehye nkofo kra bufuo more even on nyama e koso nti e edu bebia oni hwe kan no aiden why na nyama etimi ejina bebi ejina.
Okay, right.
Yeah, listo. I'm in chat for I think that this is not the first time the president of the Ghana Football Association, I mean, Obo Ejuma, especially the institution as an organization here. In fact, to me, this to be Samia, I might say that there are other private institutions and as organizations, and even public ones are. Say you can say rank it, I mean the top 10 or even top 20 organizations and institutions that were Ghana per omo KPIs omo mandates any nema they have to improve as an organization nema omo you know GF might not even get into the top 20 top 25 in Ghana to be very honest or compare I mean the leagues na here but in fact Kets by listo I mean, why any money be some of the things so yeah, not sideways because this is an airfare, AstroTurf Park, any floodlights or pram. Then they posted it and celebrated as if that was something that is huge, especially used to. Minka say be our AstroTurf Park, a floodlighter, and yet idea. For a development and infrastructure near man. But you see, with the status with Ghana playing 4 World Cups, I mean 4 times African Cup of Nations, I mean winners. You sure the number of players are getting Ghana aton. We are say the number of players are Omabo one of the biggest clubs in the world, and yes, still, baby, Ghana Football Association at the campaign the youth teams, at the campaign the players, Omabo various national teams. Say it me AstroTurf na posti jubilate as if say say it me boreholes and the Premier League clubs. So mo fa want on pictures na ye celebrate as if DBA ye be that. It makes our work even more difficult. Say we are not doing the right things and niamana nkebe the surplus niamana nkebe surplus achievement to whatever we are doing. We are rather celebrating that. And niama also ye celebrating no. We are not even doing an inch of that. And makes the work even more difficult, even if they are doing some very good initiatives. The Colisto that catch them young referees now, a very good initiative. Because the most important things we have to do, because right now, catch them young referees. When Pole Echo in Swatre Costa Bino, the following week, Pepe, you will say Abu referee Elmina, which belongs to, Papa Kwasi Indum. You risk over criticizing the FA president after Niesi and Yakobo reference with the catch them young referees project. It was a very huge project. I mean, there was some kayi nebo mabaso, but because referees no me paying for, they've been polluted, they've been influenced by club owners. Day in day out, you who how a referees do game, you who how a yebu referees, so that catch them young referees no. So Biba Ekoko participating in that a year. The next 2, 3, 4 years, you won't see that boy being a referee again. So what you say? So in as much as he lay foundations, no, we should make sure say the blocks, the laborers, whatever will go into a construction, no, should be good enough. Say bit your project na ye no. I answer you be lay foundation come on, you be filling your come on, then the blocks na be no. Your blocks papa listo at the end of the day, you be we structure na see hono. Na boss be atechima or say structure no. Yes say bubu and our structure and some say bubu for. Then it means that whatever capital we invested in the catch them young referees no, if you are not protecting the referees, if you are not paying referees or Moody Division Premier League clubs are these young lads, some years go come jai referee no be so mbembe. Then it means that project is spending some money, spending resources, services at the end. Ni na samba to square zero. So to me, I think that even if some people have to amplify those things because there are a lot of Niema or because here people also bring a lot of failures the GFA under the management failure. So to me, even if I am here will lead this institution, I mean in fact things are not going well, but you as the leader in public won't me and diminish the kind of work you are doing to ebebu people under you workers abemu. But to be very honest, if you are ranking the organizations or more Ghana na institutions or more Ghana, and the kind of work mood because at least to so who here juma say measure what you measure you by the successes when you near matches when you in fact or by there hasn't been any increase in sponsorship for the national team, the Black Stars of Ghana. In fact, in Ghana Premier League currently, which is one of the flagship franchise under the Ghana Football Association, they don't have a sponsor, a lead sponsor. In fact, we are struggling to get a broadcast deal because this is a Liga, DSTV, Abba Star Times recently, and right now free to air.
They were giving us $3 million, and now the phone being
you scar Capital One Plus Bank for no, and the buyer we saw the money grow. FPAC and all these years, even recently the Mr. Easy company for Dubai, and yes, they are paying local room bonuses for the teams. So listen for me, I think that already or Mimi who say it's a way workers no more GFA because the GFA there are a lot of people working there, people who don't even know them from media, marketing, all these aspects, fighting for Nema or Sekoso, and they are doing well. And we hope that some years maybe the second term we might say okay or buy maybe over 100, your money 60, your money 50, your money 35, your money 10%. But as of now, with some of the things I who say the go-to way to see say yes. Yami national teams no name because in fact the women's national team, but aside the women's national team, women's league women's league, the national teams that we are not performing, and the under 20 are recently or master even let's check the number of coaches are changing the kanka. But since then I think that we have a lot to do, and in fact it doesn't mean that with we wanting to do more, no doesn't mean that the GFA is the best run organization. And the me is on one bo in Samra nibi they abo and now what me be encourage the people working under the GFA. But to me it's a case statistical analysis here by your voting and here na GFA top 30 cra and but I mean they've done some incredible things, but I mean the most of the near manner are failing more, especially from the national team, the Black Stars failing to qualify from the group stages for success from recent tournament Ayako, failing to qualify for the AFCON for over so many years, World Cup qualify as a year ball. I mean the under 20 Black Queens, maidens and princesses for I mean we are near my course. So to me I think that is some no kind of list to me. I think that I mean it's not true.
Right, yeah, share a weekend game scene. Yes, share weekend game scene. Yeah.
Yeah, at least over weekend we now
It's done deal with Premier League.
Yes, the Premier League there. See, I be doing. I think Arsenal fans no could give up.
Okay.
Then yeah,
And the Yansha top 4 now. And I think the last 3 is a done deal.
Yes, with the last 3 is why I done deal because
This
we
Wolves,
Wolves performance on also you know, and Everton. Wolves, West Ham, Everton, maybe and compete me ako. But now so they are putting in the good
performance
work.
compared
Yes,
to Southampton there. It's almost impossible.
Yes, Leicester and so Leicester no with the games are very difficult. Obebo Arsenal, Obebo Man City, Obebo Liverpool, Obebo Newcastle. So
it's a train. Yeah, what went wrong? Very, very important.
I think
this wish what went wrong. They had opportunity to sign a Chelsea striker, Emmanuel Breuer, to come and help Delap. Do her baby. Omo style and omo rely on Delap. Southampton, so you coach are insisting trying to play from the back.
Yeah.
And Leicester Sono. Cooper, I think the replacement of Maresca no na nyani ya na sana cast Cooper na nka wa because na kwese oni ni side for na egbo na onya results but now we no oba o be ni be 1 or 2 be to aso no ono ne side for na egbo onya de oni penfo no so ba onya de. What went wrong for these 3 teams?
I think with these 3 teams coming into the EPL, mostly promoted clubs ne ba adeba ko amimi hu ni say when they come in oba na person of league me who the Brentford, the maybe the Fulham, so Makwaba now they are doing so well. Oba into the Premier League. The Premier League is different from the Championship. Intina ball now ball in the Championship now to me dominating play, possession, creating more attacks. When Oba into the Premier League, as a promoted side, no, the number 1 thing is a moody 2 3 say you are coming to suffer. Coming to suffer based on say you are meeting clubs they have the quality, they have the good head coaches. And experience wise, Omabo League over 2-3 seasons and Sana Obabe joining. So joining them no, Esa Uyawa James, I'm coming in to suffer and defensively no. Esa Utimi solid. Then now your main game should be on counter attacks. Making sure say these teams, only Man City, Liverpool, the Chelseas, Man United, Tottenham say boy, they come into the game to attack. Into Utimi defensively solid. Now about counter a boy and Untine so here Nottingham Forest being third on the league log now, and they be different. Last season they were suffering almost to a lot of players, but Nuno Bemuno we say okay, I can't play like the big team, so let me be defensively solid and make sure say attacking wise koyenim. Ohwe Southampton omo season end there time omo pamo that is Rosin Martin because starting tenure they almost starting they were trying to play from the back. Now their style of play was more of like the Burnley last season. Sebon most started for Chini Ejisha Mukramon starting. The coach was trying to create some impression. Maybe looking at maybe at the end of the season, saying a Vincent Company the end and the club be who so ball play or ni quality no bit me their bonity and then young Kofan and no has Southampton here because they've been in the Premier League before. Omabo Premier League name the standards of the Premier League. Intino Edu baby no. This was the time and Kenso Moba back no. The more call that's the previous 2 seasons no. Kenso Musuya and Yama be free say yentimine top clubs intimi be bossa. Inti ebemo defensively enya solid say 5 back run ebebo. Any ebebo on the counter on bet me about because I heard this Southampton setup with Kamal Dean, with Dublin, they have quality players up front with speed, pace, any dribbling, any maybe scoring ya deba kwa nko mbetimi aboa. Nti with the counter team no, nko mbetimi aye nyama bebra entimi ankoyi. Nti anu nti na Southampton ye hu say 28 games we win just 2, lose 23. We concede 68 goals. Asha just 20 goals in 28 games. NSC ano or 9 points. Ene ye di nkomo yi. Season e be ko na wie Southampton e be ko relegation. With Leicester City, I think Enzo Maresca replacement in intimi anye yamon because Enzo Maresca gusu I think maybe they would have battled to stay in the Premier League and next season they would add more qualities but the inclusion of coach a friend Steve Cooper a coach be no Nottingham Forest any other pamono because of decisions into games are not emboa so I adeba kwa ababe say if you have a coach going at least you need to replace the coach with a similar coach wa build it the same type of style and unti ne hu say Iron Slot performance with Liverpool koyi because Iron Slot style is similar to club core intino they've not been any changes about this season just Chiesa Penwaton but I could see that the team is performing so well into with Leicester and no nanke somewhere but after Steve Cooper now Van Nistelrooy be two team and nyama nkoyi oba the performance was good we need a game against Tottenham but free or defensively they've not been solid Van Nistelrooy is super so boss some attacking type of footballer and no na air home into when they go into games they don't get to score goals they are conceding left right center and we are home I think they were the only team or didn't coach every championship but up to now he still has the same coach in charge but with their problem has also been the philosophy of these coaches the philosophy of the coaches going into the Premier League senior midi kind boss you can't come and play like the top guns so you suffer and make sure say defensively you are solid into share team with Man City we are mobile show.
I think they had a as a team no a much solid
yes
but almost share teams are as they want to go toe to toe. I remember Omone Arsenal
yes
they were not crossing the ball. Arsenal show 1-0. Can you imagine that just almost pass
they were trying to possess
a combination cross the ball the co box no being heading to net. They were I said come on big small team and I will be a big team.
Yes and I against that game with Arsenal performance wise omo bobo on chance but now I to say omo person omo chance I say you team bobo on chomti and omo but that is what the big guns brings in on the one moment pebe show now fidie why solid I won't mean so I think that has been the problem but Usha clubs be home about into the Premier League send them boss Brentford Fulham or Messuya from this young Brentford under with Thomas Frank in the first season they were defensively solid into that time no Brentford games are and nyamom the show goes be air crossing any throw-ins into do throw-ins I'll be who pin with a friend saying pin ya money we want be good box no then they are throwing balls doing crossings now Ivan Toney ni mbemu goals no so if you don't do that you suffer no ntino the relegation we need there I think is set with Wolves, West Ham, Everton and maybe Manchester United. These are the four clubs that they are closer to the relegation. I don't think that none of them would go to relegation. The relegation set there are yet ready. I don't know. These three teams will go back into the championship and maybe improve and come back later. My weekend games, of course, in the Premier League. Osha, Manchester City, Nottingham Forest, 12:30 kickoff for Adebakwana in Kofobe Breni also. So with the Premier League, name Japan. When him say 12:30 kickoff, mostly the surprise in the back. Last season 12:30 kickoffs are Nottingham Forest any Liverpool 1-0 so something similar with the Premier League nature now him said this game is a game surely there might be a surprise it's either a win or draw for team friend Nottingham Forest I think Nottingham Forest ebebo Nuno Espirito Santo Abasu Yepa Ocean Nottingham Forest set up now one thing I'm a pro team said the team doesn't have any key player because the team depends on this particular player even though say Chris Wood mom enough goals but the team no any key player be as a player ni who team ni team bobo it's a general play from goalkeeper South down to Merino on number 5 center backs no to we Aina to we event Elanga Odoi Gibbs White Wolves everybody we Anderson everybody is putting up their performance Oshe bencha utimi introducing new players etimi ba Danilo Mo we friends Sangari Mu they all come in and fit in so well. Adebako Aboa Nottingham Forest this season is they take game serious, especially against the big clubs. Against Chelsea, they had a 1-1 draw against Liverpool this season. Liverpool in team 3 points in free Nottingham Forest. So in 2 games, Nottingham Forest have 4 points from Liverpool. And if you are taking points from these big teams, only Chelsea Otimi ball draw and again I think City in the first leg and City share 3-0 and they've been able to come back and also defeat Manchester City and they are doing so well. Mebo we Nuno Espirito Santo Abaso Calamos no doing so about a player bia they've been 2 times and one share decider I'm the club a winning game and these 2 times in against Manchester City and against Liverpool. Now Odoi being sold from Chelsea to Nottingham Forest for 3 million at that time. na performance I was done this season. So this season as a player he has improved very very well. You know him say Odoi at Chelsea and decision making on the ball was very difficult. I do baby a boy as hopefully so Odoi be ball short number. Or my pass, or change. But this season he has really improved. In his last 5 games, the ratings are very very high. Against Ipswich he did so well. Against Arsenal there wasn't a goal. He did so well. Against Newcastle he scored a goal. So it has been something that he has really improved. That's the question, sir. Now, was it a good thing for Chelsea to sell him for 3 million and bring in Jadon Sancho and a season Chelsea Everton Sancho? That is 25 million, because their profiles they are similar, but Odoi has a bit of edge ahead of Jadon Sancho, especially when it comes to shooting and a lot of things. I think Manchester City, so going into this game defensively, I think
with the Horneman, I think
yes,
at the time that was the best solution for everybody, because he was suffering. And Yenka was even Nottingham Forest, you know. In your FI,
yes,
they gambled on him, gave him time to the body, you know. Also breaking it through in terms.
Yes.
In terms of England national team, no, or making a debut 16 years.
Yes.
Or yes, somebody a prospector or breaking through in term, right? And so far cruciate ligament injury. Or returning and obeying him, he wasn't the Hoseo Doi that we all knew.
Yeah.
He had all the support, all the coaches wanted to help him, but the bedroom baby, not for the sake of honor, any team not also here. Or Leverkusen, loan na anyade amfa. So Nottingham Forest in Yembo or Mabaso say
they've been able to
get the best out of it. And I always say this, and Saturday na misru, players no almost suffer injuries no. Obe se bedru baby na injury na teko.
Yes.
And mabiem. Ebedu sometimes no money utim biem. I'm not sure say host not the suffer injury and suffer one suffer sa injury na e ma oko almost be 7 months na. Me sure say nka. Obe yi na team no.
Yes, and I think because the players beat Christian Pulisic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, they've been players who go through a lot of injury situations.
Age category.
I think sometimes due to maturity.
Yes, body
no. So our body no as a or no or a young into a more vibrant so into no recovery no more on a mature level. Maybe baby will do, because he owns a Pulisic or AC Milan. I think those times were Chelsea now could be because or a player or more of a glass and they be pra. But I think the performance as well maybe at the end of the season, so Nottingham Forest we are the Champions League man. Beating me add more players my team with performance Manchester City on the other hand, I think Sisi no be a person who the problem with Manchester City, because it has been an on and off season for them. Inyama ko bone na nyama siye kakra obi afili so nyama gina yi, then things go bad. I think their players in the team are now their performance na nkomodema in the previous 4 seasons from team J League no. Sisi as our players the performance are confirm. Obi tse Bernardo Silva. Now Bernardo Silva in this Manchester City team aba be more of maybe a liability than an asset to the team. He named himself those times he was one player, the ball holding, the ball carrying. There were times one interview he was even asked on position or a defensive attacker. But now the strength, the pace ni hope you men who say it may affect you. But when Man City team now, generally they are struggling. I think the struggle not just the players but the head coach Ankasa. I think now no Man City bet me a rest. This is a good time for them after the last game on in the Premier League. They can go with this international break. Pep Guardiola can reset. No, because after the international break is the business end of the league. And after that, you go international break. Next season, position or that, and then Newcastle win here. Oba ebe or the equal point. Nasisiano. The next few games, the next 10 games, can be crucial. Manchester City, they don't need to lose or draw, because the top 4 is from Arsenal and they are title contenders now. They are on 55. Omatwe Nottingham Forest mu just 4 points.
So Yanshire Premier League, no?
Yes.
Nottingham, Man City, Manchester, on it Brighton, the board this weekend.
Yes, and Brighton Eshe, no?
Yeah.
In the first round.
Yeah. On it Leicester, Ebebo.
I think that will be an easy game for them.
Yeah. Obeko United home.
United in so share it will be a tough game.
Yes. Or we on Crystal Palace.
Palace so I form. Yes. So I think the only problem about Palace game is Mateta be available at more.
Okay. We Obeko Everton home. How
Everton yes
has become so, and it appears that teams almost sitting deep. There has a results from Man City.
Man City, yes. Because
if you are who City deep no, except Chelsea penna, you could high line or more to actually. But all the teams almost sitting deep in be any results.
So we have Man City from previous seasons to this season. Now, one thing I must study is the previous seasons. No, so Man City possessive ball. No more fully say there is no space. No more reverse back to like pass cheap as starting Bioma. They come with full counter. No more be Ramu. But see on the ball they delay. Emma teams almost sit back against Nottingham Esan settle, and that has been the problem. I think pace wise, they have the players to Doku, Savinho more that pace to get the ball up front. But see and meaning tactically, they are scared say Russia maybe a team Naji abo encounter, and that has been the problem. I need you who said they are struggling, but
Omebo Aston Villa.
That would also be a difficult.
Aston Villa Wolves Omeko Southampton home in a bomb of the ball. Money Fulham Omeko Craven Cottage for the last.
I think they are difficult games for Manchester City. Aston Villa game will be depending on Aston Villa Champions League. Baby Obedu because Obedu baby no feel said the league is not important. Obetimi JM no concentrating on the Champions League. But I think they are difficult game. Brighton difficult. Wolves we Fulham very difficult. Bournemouth very difficult because these are teams are on your more pre top 4 top 5 particular position, so it will be difficult games for them. It will all depend on after the international break if Pep Guardiola beat me a reset year, because Mekai said during the start of the season, or I said those few games to the first international break was like a pre-season for them, and after that they bounce back so well. Maybe he can do something similar. Liverpool and Southampton, I think it was a game going into the match being himself as a 3 point for Liverpool, but it will depend on how many goals Liverpool can score, because omeni baako or game against Paris Saint-Germain too. And slots ain't me antna touchdown is because of band onya, but I think Liverpool team ni a team bia performance wise they are doing so well. Say omuye changes 1 or 2 eboa. One thing I must study about Anslot this season, say in games the player na yellow card, he's quick to take the player off. Senior embe affect you. I mean, in the game Shimakas enya the yellow card in the first half. Non ko arrested Robertson Boyi edine by Southampton. I think coach Odio Menim a friend we a friend saying Juvic one coach they need to give him time. I think he'll be able to.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
He's a very good coach. Yeah. I think so. Short time about sure Southampton team you mostly they get to concede by basic mistakes at defenders. But in first they are trying to play now on the ball. It's more based on mistakes our defenders need. So I think if they to go back into the championship, he can revive them and bring them back next season a bit more. But see, baby, do number 2 team na nyamaji egwewi, and when the fixtures na kana he can't do anything for them to get back into the Premier League. And so I'm call back to relegation now. They get back into the Premier League. The next game I measure in the Premier League, Chelsea and Leicester. In this game, no be himself performance wise. Chelsea performance ni ye, and secondly Leicester so performance ni to maybe a go bet me abo over since we are the back one and for share bet me see in this game. But in the game, say who say in the 22nd minute Kopama in your penalty, and a Chelsea fan behind him say born a toho ama Kopama there. He could score that goal and also try to reset his career, reset his season again, because Kopama during this game no 5 games in the Premier League on share goal or assist. And now or joining Chelsea, this has been the longest time Wako without a goal or assist. I think now it's really dawning on the player, a friend Kopama, because Obi shares our game no need decision making in Kopama are all form no. Some balls we were so distributing it quicker one time, but so in this game he took 1 or 2 touches to make sure say ball no ba be ball no confident e wo no be ball and it slowed his game with the penalty miss. Yes, it was something say obi o hwe ball no ko pama the ball no to and the way a goalkeeper Hemnes na or tries to obey influencing the decision making now you could see say he could miss the penalty because you couldn't see that ice cold ko pama the ball no be to the goalkeeper na kan pon fa ne ho oni de any say uye den oba be shell. And as a left-footed player, he wanted to choose the best position and he could strike the ball so well like beat me a ball and win to me and share a penalty. After the game, we were friends say Enzo Maresca said he was sick, he didn't train. That was the day before the game, but Onumpona Eka said he wants to be part of the team to help Chelsea get that Champions League spotter. Omutimi Etiminyae Cucurella back to back, he has gotten goals for Chelsea. I think Cucurella a player bia na we a Chelsea fan na unim talent any Inyame Kutana, you would never doubt him coming into the Chelsea team. I think after the Euros, you know, and Chelsea fans ni be nya confident when he muso betimi IBB, and now he's showing scoring back-to-back goals, first time in his career for Chelsea. He has had a lot of goal contribution for Chelsea this season. I think he's doing so well. And player who impressed me on the night was Fafana, coming back from injury during the game. Coming back from injury, there are some balls that you don't need to be running more. And so you're more relaxed, but he was putting in the work, running, doing a lot of tackles. He did well. Even getting to 73 minutes was something. It was good for a player coming back from injury. Send our boss, you know. Chelsea, after the international break, we get Nicolas Jackson back, we get Noni Madueke back, we get a lot of players back. Romeo Lavia started training, but they're sharing so back. But now the only thing is, if these players come back, if they are to give good performance, Chelsea can get that top 4 position and qualify for the Champions League next season. I think Chelsea problem about goalkeeping. In this game, Robert Sanchez coming back. I think in our previous last week game, I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Sanchez will be back because Jorgensen's performance I know Putin was more not convincing. He had the chance to grab that particular number 1 position at Winter. Now in draw Sanchez game would even though he was good with 1 or 2 saves, but some particular dive be a goalkeeper across the ball. Now I saw position who say when the bear attack ball no etimi share ball na Sanchez to ne ho e betwe mu ball ne ho eye tosin na ball ne be ball ne tiko echo ball that is the post and the samba back. I think Chelsea in the summer, it's either say Petrovic is doing well Strasbourg in 3 games with him keep clean sheet. In draw the game they play, he performed so well. If Chelsea had to bring him back, yes, but Chelsea need a world-class goalkeeper next season. So I'm competing for the Premier League. So okay, start wise, okay, expected goals, chance being created, maybe we non-penalty expected goals ni BBR. We Liverpool are Chelsea in a second when it comes to creating chances, attacking threats ni BBR. But Osha, they are not putting in the work defensively. And I think the only thing that worries Chelsea here, set pieces and also corners, they are very low on the expected level at home. But next season, if Chelsea are to get one quality, experienced defender, a goalkeeper, and maybe some wingers, they can compete for the Premier League and they were able to keep a clean sheet. I think that will be the positive at Enzo Maresca Ebefa from this game because now Chelsea are finding it difficult to keep clean sheet. Keep it clean sheet. Man United Arsenal, I think it was a good game. Man United they go into big games. Their performance is different from the mid-tables for any relegation battle for any bond. It was a good game. Bruno Fernandes free kick was quality, but I think Raya was to be blamed for that particular free kick. War now Nkojina far corner. Expect to say later no that other player no say on board born and far one is because your war can do something about it. I know there were conversations on the war no length from the ball was a bit far and until Bruno Fernandes etiminya a good accuracy over the wall, but goalkeeping wise Raya intiminya. I think Man United one thing me home this season is against big clubs they show up. The players have the zeal so it's all mobile to prove something, but against smaller clubs na problem. But Arsenal on the other hand, they say a league log need. I think they are battling for a top 4 than chasing Liverpool and about a big problem. Defensive wise, they are solid, but now the problem has been the attack. Trossard, game B or Beba into the picture. Game B or he's off. 1 year he's young, getting to me for a lot of pressure and Tony. So this is the time and Arsenal here Sterling. But Sterling coming in, you know, his performance, it will be in this game he was an unused Saba. You say he's not doing so well. And you want to say he will be back to Chelsea at the end of the season. With lastly, Italy, Atlanta one team last week. Now investors a bomb price or munche go back up into me in face but they went into a game against Juventus. This is the second defeat at Juventus in the Serie A. I think it was a disappointing result for Mota and Brandt here. With performance on Monday in Kolomwani, with Vlahovic, even McKennie doing so well in this game, their performance was very, very poor. I don't know, say, with Renato Vega absent because defensively Kelly and a bit Cavamano, and he was very, very poor in the game at Atlanta. It's me boy. I think the only thing I could see the difference in this Atlanta setup was player friend Cuadrado being given the wings position, and he did so well. He performed so well, and he was the man of the match. I think Atlanta, if last week Omutimi winnie and yeah no Mutimi winnie and now they would be in the title race. Last week performance but still they are 3 points behind team a friend Inter Milan. Anything can happen. Omutimi winnie against Venezia now they will be on the same point with team a friend Inter Milan, and they would even be ahead of Inter Milan by a goal difference. And Atlanta and better the Serie A first, but they messed it up. Though they don't have any other competition playing, so they can concentrate and make sure that they can at least battle for this competition. Atletico against Getafe game, and I think it was one game I was very disappointing. Everybody was looking at Simeone's side, so investor be not going to this game with Simeone having a Champions League game. No be any goals be bring to me, because Atletico besha one goal, no energy so be defended. In the 75th minute, Solot it me a penalty. Obia of course our particular game now no share game ni him say 15 minutes now can is a done deal for Atletico. So Atletico ain't me consider because Simeone we've known him for his defensive mastermind. So Bernard James will be close the game and make sure say Nyama be cool. But the red card in the 88th minute also was a big turn for team a friend Getafe. Getafe are one team in the La Liga. They are the most defensive team about La Liga. With the head coach Odio. But going into the game with a red card, Omutimi within 4 minutes, Etimi share a goal was something I was really surprised about. I think it was a disappointing result for Atletico, especially trying to chase team a friend Barcelona in the league race as Siciano. Enyama babe with Barcelona, omo first team doctor. We Etimi free more I don't know next omo cancel omo game no. So the game will be played the game in hand that be a good thing for Barcelona, because if they are to win, they now stretch the league by 3 points a bit me up warm with the remaining 11 games they can gradually do well and take the league. And I think we can need a Nyama Koye, Real Madrid and so see if we need 2-1 and other teams need to me bomb home or the Nyama etimi Koye ewo.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure we can get.
Yes. Listo, I mean this weekend a lot of exciting games. Let's start with the English Premier League, you know, and I also answer the question that if Arsenal beat me, I come back. I mean, how many points does Liverpool need to win the league? As now, Listo. Over the weekend, I mean, you say Nottingham Forest, Manchester City, making it very difficult for Manchester City if they would want to be in the top 4 spot this season, because already Liverpool have trained Manchester City 23. So the fact that Manchester City beat Mababe come back, very I mean impossible at this moment. But you see, there's one thing at Nottingham Forest list too. Or your man for dream in Yamba. So I mean Nottingham Forest is a big club. In fact, the UEFA Champions League, they are one of the clubs Omaji 2 times. Those days are not homogeneous European Cup, no. I imagine it 2 times. And you see, this is a club work relegation for 18 years. One of the biggest clubs are Macho Premier League, Omoko relegation for 18 years, Omasiamba back. And they were one of the richest clubs in England. So with them coming back, Listo, I mean, it rings a lot. I mean, a ring a bell. Or more UK, especially how they are doing. How some number of players. This to Bekaya when they came back into the Premier League, almost 20 to 19 players. No more people were like they are buying players, and right now they went in to buy players from the big clubs. I know Munya Bimbo. Talk of Callum Hudson-Odoi, talk of Elanga, and these players are contributing to a lot of egos. In fact, Ucheke Manchester City attack, Haaland, Doku, Savio, and Phil Foden. Now check it, they have the same number of goals, 31, as Ilanga, Hudson Odoi, and Abranta and Eddie Chris Wood. In fact, they are doing very well. And now check it, teams are defensively, they have a very good record in the English Premier League this season. Listo. Ubebo Liverpool with 12 clean sheets. Now Samsung but Nottingham Forest with 12 clean sheets. They are doing very well with 12 clean sheets. No more. Goalkeeper Danny Marcels is one of the best goalkeepers in the league currently. On one keeping a 12 clean sheet. Listo. So with Nottingham Forest getting that win against Manchester City, I mean, I wasn't surprised. They are the only team watching Liverpool this season. And Skanketsi, Nippon was shared that goal against Liverpool. Is the same player who scored against Manchester City in the playoff Callum Hudson-Odoi. So in this game, some of us knew that it was going to be very difficult for Manchester City going to play against Nottingham Forest. In fact, in recent times, Listo, no form Adepia Akwakwe Bibiyo. And in fact, Mohamed Salah at this stage of his career in the English Premier League, Listo, every goal be a Salah Beshe be a Listo. It means that will break a record. Nti washa Mohamed Salah goals awasha in this season makes him the foreign player washa more goals in the English Premier League, because right now he's only Abranta and there Sergio Aguero was same goals, 184 goals, and the probability that Salah beats me on and on about I mean the most scoring player foreign player Premier League, because right now he's going to outscore Andrew Como and I'll call Lampard, money, all these players. And see, and now no 2 goals now Salah makes him say be a player in a single season watch more goals. Mohamed Salah watch 44 goals involvement in the single Premier League season out of the 38 games, and yet Onyambo in 38 games in January, which means he is or breaking record Thierry Henry and Erling Haaland, and he's going to break that record for sure. And in fact, most goals involvement for a single side, most goals involvement for a single team across all games, Salah, Ababi Remoa, and when Rooney, Ryan Giggs leading with 276, and then Ryan Giggs 271, and Mohamed Salah 261. And probability that will be overtake both Ryan Giggs and Rooney very high. Used to. Now let's go back to the games. Aka Liverpool about 29 games, Arsenal about 28 games. List to share. So say Arsenal was standing game against Liverpool. Right now Gabon 15. Right. So check it, Liverpool points they would need 86 points to win the league ahead of Arsenal. The reason why I make us as a list to Arsenal last 10 games Aka Liverpool last 10, and Aka Arsenal last Aka Liverpool 9 and Aka Arsenal 10, because Liverpool bought 29 matches and we bought 38 games a season. And see list to say Arsenal can the last 10 games including the outstanding match on Liverpool start 10 matches in should in case Arsenal winning in the list to Arsenal being 85 points, and if Liverpool in here just 16 points out of the last 27 points are Aka. So if Liverpool 8 minutes last 9 in the list to 27 points, but if they're able to get 16 out of that 27 points are Aka, they have to fight for. They will win the league, because say Arsenal last 10 games not winning in the list to Obinya 85 points. Liverpool getting 16 out of the 27 points remaining. Liverpool Benya 86 points, which means even if Liverpool Enya 16 points after the 27 points nakana, Liverpool Arsenal win all the games still be fall one shot to 8 minding Liverpool. And you see, for Liverpool to achieve that 16 points, no, he can do that on the last 6 games. Listo. In fact, last 6 game, no, a game against Chelsea. Should in case how are Liverpool going to win 16 points in the last 6 games, no, he should win 5. Now on board draw 1. It means that when you have 16 points, no, and he can do that in the next 6 games at least to Obebo. And then the check Liverpool next 6 games at least to Obebo. He will play Everton. He will play Fulham. He will play West Ham, Leicester City, and Tottenham Hotspur. In fact, these teams, now teams are Liverpool can score them in the last 5 games. So bit match and the last one, which will be the seed game against Chelsea, used to ultimately pick a point cry. It means that occur. And the Ebema this season league now interesting is say Liverpool next 6 games, if they are able to win 5 and get even a point, we get 16 points from the games are the next game are the 7th game we be against Arsenal at Anfield, and Arsenal be a guard of honor, which is going to be very difficult. And in fact, listen, if Arsenal will be able to do a possible comeback right now, Liverpool Arsenal move 15 points. If Arsenal it's me winning a standing game against Chelsea, a bet to 9 points. In fact, Liverpool before on match day, somewhere in March,
so 15.
Yes, or 15. Into make us say obo a standing game. E be 12. If Arsenal beat my comeback at least, unless they are on Liverpool be born, he should make sure say Liverpool points gap no embro 9 points. So used to anko 9 points pressure beat number Liverpool so that the last 2 games on the bono and before the Arsenal be ball ebeka last 2 pressure beat number Liverpool so I'm a bed drop leg. So what Liverpool has to do is say the last 6 games, in fact I'm not saying say Arsenal end drop a point, but this is a situation whereby if they are able to go all that tangent before when on Betimeshia Timandin Eddie Liverpool, because the time Arsenal be share Liverpool no Arsenal be ball Newcastle no sense about Timandin Eddie Southampton, the Liverpool will play Brighton and Crystal Palace. But aside that, Arsenal games over burning in a list to games he can win those games, especially a standing game on Liverpool Chelsea he can win against Fulham. In fact, Everton will form this in the last 6 games, so you lose game. It's going to be a difficult game. But yes, still Arsenal, Brentford, Ipswich, Crystal Palace, and Bournemouth. Before all these games, if they are able to amass more points, not Liverpool drop a point, not a 9 pointer, and they score Liverpool Anfield, which is going to be very difficult because the last time Arsenal I reckon was way back in September 2012, and they do the unthinkable. The comeback will be very possible for Arsenal, but looking at the margins, so Bokakoshe 9 points or Bokakoshe Liverpool Anfield, then coming to win against Newcastle, and it looks very unlikely say Listo a bit messy. So in fact Liverpool for no, all they have to do is say their last 6 games. In fact, if they really want to win the league, they should make sure say almost just 1 game league this season. They should make sure that in fact almost 24 games unbeaten run in the Premier League. They should make sure say they will win 5 out of the 6 games. Now back home and draw. It means that their game against Arsenal, 2 games to go, no, they will be crowned the champions of the Premier League, and they me AJ Liverpool for no ebe guard of honor Liverpool for. So in fact that victory in there and Russia Arsenal for the list to omo eba be change omo sporting director, but you can say Edu free ho, and Edu from the will be oba be replace Edu as a sporting director for Arsenal timani dey Atletico Madrid former sporting director Penyani dey Andre Beta, and he is one of the main people from Atletico Madrid for winning the La Liga, winning the Europa League, going to finals. As the most signings Joao Felix, Alvaro Morata, Diego Costa, more deals. He's the man. And in fact, if he comes to us now, he's going to help Arsenal sign some of the best players. Right now, Arsenal phoning him say a main target is to be in there, because after the post match Arteta say phase 5 phase 4, and he believed that Arsenal for they have to what they have to do is also to me in your top 4 football, because you are competing with Nottingham Forest, you are competing with Chelsea, you are competing with Manchester City, you are competing with Newcastle, Man United, and all these teams they want to fight in back with whatever is going on. So that is just by the way for Arsenal team. So right now the teams also compete here, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, any Manchester City. So more overtake them. If they are more least mistake, the number of games any the way I work close now, they might be able to lose even the top 4 spot, which is likely to be messy. But this is football, and anything possible. Football. Listo. Check Bundesliga. so no di can the 3 top teams in elusu here listo, and in fact Bochum winning against Ayetman the other day Bayern Munich was a shocker, because Bochum the last time omutimi koko share Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga was somewhere in 1991. In fact, check your more recent games Bayern winning by a margin of 2 to 3 goals, and it was unfortunate say goal with him. In fact, the red card for Jao Panheha, and despite say Rafael Guerrero has had 2 goals and defensive lapses, and of course say Bayern Munich. But if not for the red card, I knew that Bayern Munich was going to win, and it was a shocker in the Bundesliga. I mean, in fact, on match in Bundesliga, the more pointer we are hoping at least losing to Bochum and Bayern Leverkusen, so able to me and make some wonders, but also end me and winner Namaniama. And in fact, Mebeka Waha last week said team meet say Borussia Dortmund ultimately we need 2 games and twice this season, and for the first time under Niko Kovac be join you, we were hoping say at least and Bundesliga for commit me IBB amankasane manasi until check Borussia Dortmund listo after some crucial wins in the last game, winning against Union Berlin, winning against St. Pauli, against Timanidin Lille. Meka jom so we need 2 games to say na we need 2 games no to us, and yet with the 3rd game omuni Lille for an echo ball 1-1, and yes still come ba signal iduna omatena fi ama Uzbek for no aba be show, and if oma drop a point they find themselves on the 10th position, and at least winning that game every team the one by 7th position, the points gap between omo any team and the Eintracht Frankfurt or the 4th position occupying the Champions League slot would have been just 4 points and Dortmund for no a bit my, but right now losing this game will be very difficult for them saying they or meet mania that Champions League spot. But in fact more form Astati but and Bayern Leverkusen so they can they underrated the weather Bremen team and Xabi Alonso, knowing for a fact that he has a squad depth and could leverage on the team being so now commit my winning match, and so they affect you more, knowing for a fact in fact Bayern for Eddie can shout in the Champions League you are going to be eliminated from the Champions League unless maybe you do the unthinkable. Winning against Werder Bremen should be your utmost priority. But knowing for a fact that Champions League in fact omulusu ababe adia ebe dia momo listo Napoli share 2 goals in fact Lukaku are making 10 goals this season in the Serie A, and then Napoli any Inter for nature they are going to give us a tough Serie Scudetto run this season. I say they were Bayer, Liverpool ni PSG mu atwetwe mu no or other leagues, but looking at the Serie A listo Inter Milan winning and Napoli so that huge victory 2-1 victory against Fiorentina with Lukaku scoring and also assisting Raspadori league. Then Liverpool Napoli listo check the league log now. Inter Milan was 61 points and a team and Napoli so 60 points, just 1 point per, and they decided this they decided who is going to win the league. In fact check games are listo Napoli will have to play the big games. Will have to play AC Milan or go away to Bologna, who haven't lost at home. Then he will play. I think these are the 2 big games. Napoli bebo against AC Milan and Napoli. In fact, obebo Venezia, obebo Empoli, obebo Monza, obebo Torino, Lecce, Genoa, Parma, and Cagliari. These are the games obebo. And Inter so big games are listed. Obebo would have to play against Atlanta. Obesansoni Timanidi Eddie Bologna also be away to Bologna home. He will also play against the informed AS Roma, and Obesanso about Timanidi Eddie Lazio. Then now I call Como home. So check here. Tima likely that with the parents the fishers are akano likely say listo obetmaji squid to na echo back to Napoli. But this season Yahoo Napoli dropping point to some teams now you believe say they were not even going to drop points. They almost drop a point against Como, they drop a point against Udinese, almost drop a point to Timanidi Lazio. to that fact. And in fact, all these teams are dropping points. Now the teams they are going to play them against in the second round. So at least I think that the Scudetto, the Inter Milan and the Napoli, they are giving us a very good run, and there are 10 games to go, and we believe that they can do more. In fact, AC Milan in another win. Christian Pulisic shared 2 goals, and then they are getting closer to a European spot. In fact, they have 44 points. There is only just 6 points and a difference between Bologna and the AC Milan at this point. And Bologna, Listo, this is a more from Bologna, Lazio. If the AC Milan wants to enter into the top 4 race, it means they have to beat a lot of teams. Bologna, Lazio, and even AS Roma also war form, then even Juventus to enter into that race. And now Atlanta the bidding, scoring Juventus Allianz Stadium Turin 4-0 to just maintain almost spot at the 3rd position. In fact, 28 games, the only point between Napoli and Atlanta just 2 points. And in fact, if Inter Milan and Napoli almost now Ajana Gasperini and then the Manteno, I'm going to cause upset because just 2 points between Timalidi and Napoli and Atlanta, and just some few points Uchaki Inter Milan or also LED Timalidi and Atlanta with just 3 points. So Uber Cheki Atlanta su games are listo. They are going to play against Inter, which is very crucial. Bergamo. They will play against Lazio. They will play against Bologna. They will play against AC Milan, and they will also play against Madrid and AS Roma, which very difficult games. We believe that maybe at the given stadium, if they are able to pick up most of the points, a bit more bomb. But in fact, listo, check here, the in Serie A a tough race between Inter Milan and Napoli, and now we can boldly add Madrid and Atlanta after that 4-0 away win Okonya against Juventus, because just 3 points between Inter Milan and Atlanta, and this is a team on Inter Milan. If they're able to score Inter Milan, it means that Thomas square all points with Inter Milan. So list 2, I think that this the European competition a lot of shock. In fact, Atletico losing and Barca so lose team doctor into that for that matter me ambo league match. And in fact, they didn't play, but yesterday who check it league log now, Barca won LED with LED with goal difference 57 points with team at Real Madrid. And in fact, if there is any team Obetimiaji Serie A, and this is the La Liga this season, people are tipping Barcelona to win the La Liga. In fact, so more team or more team doctor, because this is a team doctor, because at least on himself mostly if these teams home games they decide say Ombeshia and Papa team hotel. And now say they will have a times baby match kick off near 3 p.m. by 11 or 10 will be free fiembra. You have your breakfast, then people will go and rest. So the Barcelona team, they were at the team hotel. Having breakfast and most of the times if they give the playing body, the team game players enough time to rest. So players no rest about time as well in converge when you stadium. Na yakwakoye pre-match duties ni nyama listo. Omuko free team doctor when rumor. Ada ye nyane na sorry, which means that mostly so be better no answer as cardiac arrest and money be now share a cheating mode, and then fast quick make conversation with the federation with the Sosina for now cancel match no offer there at two Barca team. The players insisted say they cannot play the game with with such at Renchem Kesena at two Barcelona. For we are hoping that Omugima Ombebo against Omugima Ombebo more postponed. We hoping that Barca if they're able to win, yes, Osasuna, if they're able to win, because Osasuna showing the first leg a shocking defeat Barca for and this vengeance will even propel them say if they want to win the league, they have to win against some of these teams dropping points in the first round listo.
Right. Options options
okay. Internet Monday Monday is mostly our matches name time doors, but senior ABS say every day bro sika mo wetima fa MYBET.AFRICA no any de bro. And West Ham any Newcastle airbo. It's one fixture I think it will be the year pass. So Newcastle win or draw and 1.5 it was a particular game no. Espanyol any Girona Espanyol handicap of 2 to win and Lazio any Udinese Lazio win or draw 1.5 and Besiktas and so airborne no so home win and 1.5 into a 5 odds code no a 2 py
Okay, yeah.
Let's do and selected us for the day no 4 games and any select across the Premier League, the La Liga, and all these games. So the first game team and the West Ham and Newcastle game cover 1.5 goals in that game. The next game Espanyol any Girona game no over 1.5 goals in that game as well. And Lazio and so any team and the Udinese game the straight win for Lazio and Besiktas Gaziantep game no a straight win for Besiktas. Me sense it will be West Ham game over 1.5, Espanyol Girona over 1.5, Lazio straight win and Besiktas straight win code no a BQPY.
All right, it's no and so and now when we say Champions League week any one yeah Champions League week I'm about media so fast. Made the first one Lazio ni Udinese bet builder over 1.51 and Udinese over 3.5. That is away over 3.5 corners. Over 1.5 away over 3.5 corners. West Ham any Newcastle over 2.5. West Ham ni Newcastle. I'm person come here me yen bet builder. I'm sure there. Over 1.5 in a corners. Na men corners. Ko game see na corners papa, especially midweek sana. Corners ni 8.5. 8.5 so mo bo 8 na ende. Okay. Well, I'm here over 2.5. Yeah, over 2.5. Yeah, midweek no goes over 2.5. Let's see. Okay, over 2.5. And FC Famalicão any Real Ave over 1.5. And Rendes FC any Bromby IF over 1.5. Legia Warsaw any Moto Lublin over 2.5. And Besiktas Istanbul and Gaziantep FK over 2.5. Into West Ham any Newcastle over 2.5. Besiktas ne Gaziantep over 2.5. Legia Warsaw any Moto Lublin over 2.5. Bromby any Rendes over 1.5. Famalicão any Real Ave over 1.5. And Lazio any Udinese over 1.5 and away Udinese nkwa over 3.5 corners. Yes, Bema 24 odds. 24 odds. 1, 2, 3, only 6 selection. Inti fakakra 2 echire. Fakakra den 8 echire. Aka 6 minutes na yes sorry. Champions League games no say na tie ma memo boso. Ochina Champions League the live commentary. Mr. Saka yebeko outdoor na. So okay, producer say yebeye ofie. Anti de anwamu bibese so ama anti wi a na ze ya fire. Barcelona ne Benfica match na 5:45 and as a game ni beba so. Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich match no 8 p.m. Inter Milan and Feyenoord 8 p.m. and Liverpool and PSG. Liverpool and PSG. Liverpool and PSG. So much we be put I'm telling you. To Achina, yeah the Liverpool the PSG live commentary at the bro. na bibia tumi akoye yɛkɔ aka 5 minutes yɛmfa nhwɛ ɛyɛ my bet education kakra na Champions League ni ade yɛnhwɛ mu na afei yɛn sorry so.
Okay, listo. We say we are Champions League week mudia. So ope baby etwa bet MYBET.AFRICA. Omo na do Champions League sana. Omo increase your odds no. Say nya won so betimi diska. Yeni nim say Champions League games ne endorse. Endorse sa no. Eno ma okwan say wutimi use omo bet builder option no. Na won so etimi lifa face count. MYBET na adwin say kwan bia so obema wo etimi diska this week no betimi edi ntiti. Inyama we penese we na won so timi fiscal MYBET. Won register ya ko www.mybet.africa. Na ko top right corner be hu green icon mi aso bon registration. Udon sa bo registration so first step we bisa your phone number. Ubo phone number ni shemu we are the next one username ye din apese o use bit my nickname and awa udin but mostly no o the number kan ho na unique. Ebia no be use say din na nickname ni bi. To won't say a differentiated from MYBET platform. So the next one a password. And your 8 letters, make sure it's at least first one in your capital. Bit means so add the number back and so I then account. We now about registration is when one my best for send the verification code now they register. Until all the amount will show you so person will charge. Oko top right corner wa umia so abe hu deposit. Me deposit ne so na first kakaka to which we are low bar no ube hu bet booking umia so code ya chiche wo shows ni so ni na no abo code ni bia shame na won so edi efa sika MYBET.AFRICA bet booking enso enne wo the easiest option umia ubo code ni shame no I den won so etime twa bet builder no Champions League na try share with 4 games ubet menya up to 40 selections any day film na won so sike mu ayedu MYBET.AFRICA aka bonus ne so samba be boawo na usika ni kwa yedu more inti usika kakre bi no MYBET ema 1500% aka bonus na unso usika ni mwayedu na weekend yi ansa na ebe wie Champions League ndi area weekend na oboto mu ayede na unso etimi ede aye ade apese otimi de MYBET
right iti MYBET de ro ni egusu ayede ye body amount iti bomodian Telegram account no ye de codes ni gumusisi a misra na media no wa hwa no wa na yeah, the good groups ni must see na videos no because me matches na statistics na me matches na bebo 24 hours mu da mamuntwa o tena ye ba na ye jubilate a kwaku I so utwa because Easter ba obekọ akosomo obekọ akosomo intino you need money te 24 hours for guso na yonko na bibia ntimi nkoye nyame adom na adom dum ya team nyina ata yachi asakana ene odia machine nechi saso ana brakwaku e wa hase na brakwaku o rene cake no na wa black top to me say yes abane sana to me say yeah ni braba ana Mr Virus o pegate mutu rough obetu gate ni say o bana jechi ona bia timi akoye ene bra pani wa koso ase abia akoye aso ko ya se nana yawo mana asaka ya ma waje adwuma no
Charlie
eti otina evese sia na afi ye de agudi mu nsem atumi e de abro me din the list o what evese ne kasa so na Benedict